Hey guys, welcome back and great to have you on board for another episode of Nitro Nights with me, Tom Deacon. Now, the team and I bring you 3 shows a week, one on a Monday, one on a Wednesday, and one on a Friday. If you're a regular, great to have you back. And if you're a newbie, well, this is what happens. We have a guest on every single show talking about everything involved in esports racing. Today is no different. Let me tell you what's happening. We'll have a Newsflash. Then we'll have Ayhancan Güven joining us. We'll have quick fire questions. Plus, we'll be talking about the Turkish esports racing scene. That's all on the way. Make sure, though, you're subscribing to the channel and following us on Twitter so you stay up to date with everything. Also, I was going to do a spot the difference, but I'll just tell you, brand new pair of glasses. Why? Well, I left my other pair at the Chinese Virtual Grand Prix, but don't worry, I'll get them back on Wednesday. Listen, here we go then. Let's get straight into the news flash. And we do start with the Virtual Grand Prix. Now, it took place in the Shanghai International Circuit, a star-studded lineup of 7 current F1 drivers taking to the sims. There was also 2 debut drivers, Carlos Sainz and Juan Manuel Correa. They made their debuts and they didn't do too badly, apart from Carlos Sainz going into the wall at one point. So, did Charles Leclerc get 2 wins out of 2? Well, he did. Of course he did. The Ferrari driver getting another win. Here's what it looked like when he crossed the line.
Last week, it was utterly dominant stuff from Charles Leclerc. He was a class above everyone else. Today, Alexander Albon made it past lap 1 facing in the right direction and has applied the pressure all the time. But the outcome is going to be absolutely identical. He has taken pole and he is 1 corner away from converting it into another superb victory. He can see the checkered flag. The Monegasque driver comes downhill and Charles Leclerc wins the Virtual Grand Prix of China.
Oh my God, I sweated so much. Oh, that was intense, guys.
Intense indeed. Sweating was Charles Leclerc. Obviously, he said after the race in winning, he said it's a very different celebrating. Switching off the computer and going to cook pasta is less glamorous than spraying champagne on the podium. But nonetheless, we appreciated his efforts. There was an aggressive overtake on Alex Albon. Some people said it was a bit suspect on Twitter. However, 3rd place, I should just bring you up to speed. Guan Yu Zhou finished 3rd. That's 3 podiums now for him. But the team chat from Red Bull, Thibaut Courtois, allowing Alex Albon to overtake him and then holding off Charles Leclerc. This is what was said.
Longer into the next corner. Fight, 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 fight. I'll break him, I'll break him.
He passed me. I don't want to go there.
All good, all good, all good.
Yeah.
So there you go. Some cheeky tactics being used by the Red Bull team. Great to have Thibaut Courtois, a professional footballer playing for Real Madrid and Belgium. He was taking part and he had a bit of sportsmanship there, not making sure he held up Charles Leclerc longer than he had to. Now, the next Grand Prix could be taking place in Japan, Brazil, or the Circuit of Americas, or even Mexico. So watch this space to see where we head for that. Also in the Pro Exhibition race, that's the F1 Esports Pro Drivers Racing, it was a return to winning ways for Brendan Lee, the 2-time former champ. He held off Rasmussen to claim the win, so well done to him. Moving on, the ABB Formula E race at home challenge in support of UNICEF. It happened, and the one word to describe it is chaotic. In the first lap, collisions left, right, and centre. It was the polar opposite of a minimal contact race. Commentators even saying at one point, I believe Jack Nicholls did, he had no words for the driving at times. But listen, Max Gunther, congratulations to him. He finished 1st, Stoffel Van Dorn in 2nd, and Andre Lotterer in 3rd. Let's hope the next race, if there is one, will be a lot cleaner. Now, we've said often in Nitro Nights that sim racers are leading the way over the pros, and it is staying that way in the race leaderboard for the All-Star Tournament. As you can see, Han Jałowski in 1st, Vineski in 2nd, and Bono Huis, who also was in the Pro Exhibition Virtual Grand Prix in China, is in 3rd. That is above the pros. Will that stay that way? We will find out. And finally, moving on to the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup Virtual Edition. Wowzers. Rounds 1 and 2 were in Barcelona. We moved to Silverstone for rounds 3 and 4. The current leaders, Larry Ten Voorde and Ayhancan Güven, were at the moment 1 and 2. And it came down to the 3rd race, final lap. This is what happened. Was there enough room, in your opinion, for an overtake?
He will stay in front for the
Great
last
job,
two.
Ten Voorde. Oh, it's contact between the two of them. Ten Voorde's been spun around. He was a bit slow into the complex, and it's given Ayhancan Güven the race victory, but I think the race stewards will be looking at that. Contact between our leading contenders. It was so good. It was so clean up until that point. And look at that, side by side.
There you go. Was there enough room for an undertake there? Oh, well, I'll find out when I chat to Güven on Nitro Nights. Now, when we moved into the fourth race, wowzers, did this battle hot up. A proper ding-dong between Güven on pole and Larry Ten Voorde. For the whole race, there was one switch at one point, but then it all came down to someone in the back marker. I believe it was Lap van Lagen, who spun out, meaning that Güven had to go round him to make sure he didn't crash out of the race, meaning Larry Ten Voorde won. This is what happened.
Probably 1 or 2 spots to go for it. That's Stowe with a bit of luck, but also the last chicane where he can try another one Ten Voorde can try to overtake Güven once again.
Oh, spinner! And where's Güven gone? Where's Güven gone? He had to back out of it, and he's allowed Ten Voorde through. And I think, and did he get a slowdown as well because he had to go so wide? What drama on the last lap there, and it was Jaap van Lagen, I think, who spun. Yeah, Van Lagen, look at him. Woo! That was close.
So there you go. A fantastic climax to a race. I strongly advise you go back and watch it. Almost, and actually probably better than the Jensen Button over Jan Magnussen. That was on the Legends race. Brilliant races coming to the end. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the Newsflash for today. Stay tuned for the interview with Ayhancan Güven. Well, listen, joining us on Nitro Nights, I'm so glad to have him on board. It's Ayhancan Güven. Welcome to Nitro Nights. How are you, sir?
Hello, fine, thank you. You?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Great to have you on the show. And I have to get straight in there. People know who you are. They know what you're about. They know for a fact they've been watching you on the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup Virtual Edition. Can we please start by talking about Larry Ten Voorde? I mean, I don't have any nails left, Ayhancan. Talk about race 3. There was a collision, but race 4, I mean, wow, you had to swerve round. It was neck and neck the whole race. Talk me through both races.
Yeah, in the first race, I make a really bad start as a Barcelona, so I lose 2 places. Then I have small contact with his teammate when I'm passing him, and then I try to catch him. And yeah, in iRacing we have off track, and we usually a bit unfair with this off track a little bit because we go off everywhere. So I don't like it, but I need to do it if I want to catch him because he do. So I follow him. So and then last lap in the last corner, I think he make a small mistake and go too much left. And you know, when it's final lap, final corner, then you want to try it. And I just want to go inside, and I must say I just go inside and then try to inside. But I never expect him close that much, and then the contact happened. And even in iRacing, there is a little bit, lag contact. So it's not really the big contact, but then it's make a big one. So yeah, it's bad for him. It's not good for him to spin in the last corner, but yeah, in sim racing it's a little bit easier to spin the cars. So yeah. And in the race too,
yeah. I mean, because I was just going to say, because the first races in Barcelona, Catalonia, obviously you had a podium there. You finished first in one of the races, second in the other.
Yeah.
So this is a neck and neck battle that's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier we heard in the Newsflash about Charles Leclerc sweating in his sim racing. Are you getting the nerves, the anxiety, the anxiousness when you're driving?
Yeah, I must say the feeling, when you are excited on the car in the real life, it's same in the sim racing. It's really, really same. But yeah, you don't have that much temperature in the car, so you don't get that much. But still you have the same problem. Yeah, and in the race too, I get pole and I make a good start. But yeah, in the slipstream, I can make a gap to him. So yeah, I'm under pressure always, but I think the perfect defense always. I don't give any open door. Once I take it back just next corner. So yeah, that was a good fight and good battle. But last lap, it's a little bit unlucky. The blue flag car spin just in front of me, and I defend in the entry. So I can't go like Larry because if I defend, I can't pass from the right side of the spin car. So and in that moment I know I lost the race, but I just focus for the points. So I just go outside. I know I get slowed down, and yeah, that's still good points. But yeah, in real life, it's sometimes not sometimes, always most important thing is be safe. So you need to go wide in real life like that. But in sim racing, you need to use that trick also, because in that moment it's like it's not, there's no life steer. So if you go off the track like that much, you get slowed down.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic to watch you. All the best for the rest of the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. I did want to say, because obviously you were slowing down, the way you were defending was brilliant to watch. You did run the risk of being rear-ended by Larry ten Voorde so many times, and he was flashing his lights constantly at you. But listen, I think why I think you're brilliant to talk to right now about esports racing is obviously the movement of the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup to a virtual edition. I wanted to ask you, I know that you were an avid sim racer beforehand. How easy was that adjustment for you?
I think even I have too much experience because of I'm the one of the when the entry list was there, everyone say, okay, Ayhancan will be strong because everyone know my sim racing background. But I must say the real life guys get adapt really quickly, and the level of the competition is really high. But yeah, at the moment we are just with Larry and me. So yeah, and the adaptation, I make a lot of testing for the races. I must say, at least I spent 200 laps before the official race. So yeah, I make a good preparation. And yeah, at the moment we are in the same points with Larry, 90. So, and there is still 4 races to go. So it will be like, also we are fight with him in the real life. So it's completely the same. And because of I know him, he knows me. We know how to race with each other. So that's really same like a real life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving your setup. I mean, this is my lounge, as everyone knows, on Nitro Nights. But I love the setup there that you've got, a drinks bottle as well. I got to ask, is anything in the drinks bottle, or is it just water? Squash, maybe,
Water,
a juice?
but here I have my maybe I can show you. Here I have the.
You've got everything there.
Yeah, this one is just water, but if I need extra energy, then I can use that one.
Perfect. Because obviously you were sim racing before. I know I spoke to Cembuluk Bassi. I said I'm interviewing Ayhancan Güven. I said what can you tell me about him? And he said that you got into iRacing because of Cem. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think like in 2012, 13, 14, we drive Gran Turismo together with him, and then he decided to go iRacing. And that days I say, okay, but I don't want to come because I'm happy in the Gran Turismo with my Logitech and making world records there. I was happy, and then he leave, and when he leave, he tell me, Ayhancan, this is so nice. You need to come. You need to join. And I keep saying, no, I will keep Gran Turismo. And once I have chance to go real life in my racing career in real life, then I understand I need to go iRacing for the better preparation. So in 2017, 3 years after him, I start iRacing, and then he go F1. So we never match each other in the iRacing, but I hope he will start back soon.
Yeah, maybe one day. How useful is it for you to sim race while you're actual real life racing as well? How do you use your sim racing? Does it help you? How does it help you?
Yeah, for me, like not in this situation, but before, the only reason of sim racing is get prepared for the real season, because of I'm living in Turkey, and in the past I don't have so many seat time and experience and have a chance to drive. I use sim racing as a practice for the real life, and I must say it's really helpful because when I go first time, Spa, when I go first time Barcelona, Silverstone, these tracks, I was fast from the beginning. So I must say I see the big help of the sim racing, and yeah, at the moment it's like a new business for people, but for me it's the most important detail of my job.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you were going to do well in Silverstone after winning last year in the Supercup at Silverstone. So I knew you'd be good. But how did those that were less familiar with sim racing deal with it? Because some drivers haven't joined. You mentioned it's very quick for them to pick up the skills. But did they call you for advice? Ayhancan, or was there, or did they sort of think, oh no, because he'll tell me the wrong thing to do?
No. Like, because of I'm in the Porsche driver list now, the Porsche guys call me and I help them with equipment, with computer they need. When they get the steering wheel and stuff, I give my setup to them, so I will help them a lot. But I must say I'm really surprised because in a 1 week time there's a few guys just half second off pace in the sim racing. So this is I think a big move. So it's also show how the realistic is the sim racing, because like there is a Patrick Pile who is like racing for 20 years in real life and never sim racing, and when he's completely fast from beginning. So yeah, it shows also how the sim racing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask also, because obviously being a real life racer and driver, you have to do training. How has your training changed at the moment? Are you still getting the fitness in as well as the sim racing?
I try, but like I at the moment I was in the quarantine for 45 days, so I just try to go outside running and do some easy workout in the house. I'm sure I'm not improve my, like, for the season. I'm not improve my completely like fitness ability, but I'm sure I will keep it in a good shape. So that's the plan for now. And when we have chance to start season, I think it's going to be in a 2 months or 2.5 months. So I can start a little bit better in few weeks, and then I will be ready in 2 months. So I just try to stay sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you, because don't forget, I'm bringing you quick fire questions very shortly. The IMSA, they're looking to get back to racing behind closed doors. That was announced a couple of days ago. You finished 5th. How was that?
I must say that was really good, and I was really proud and happy because the Porsche is a Porsche Junior driver. It's even in the sim racing, I get a Porsche factory car. So this is a really special, like, it's a dream for me, and it's happened in the sim racing first time. So it's still quite okay, and I get it really serious. And when I heard it, I was really happy, and I started prepared for the Laguna. And I must say, the pace was there, but I was a little bit unlucky with qualifying because of there's a 50 cars in Laguna Seca, and I can't find a clean lap. And because of the Porsche tire usement, we need at least 5-6 laps to get temperature. And when the other cars like BMW and Ford can do it in the second, third lap. So for us, it's a little bit harder to find a clean lap because of, like, they can do first, second, and third, but for me, I need to make 4 or 5 laps, and there's a big risk to crash with the other cars on the track. So it's a little bit difficult to make quali. And I start P13, but then in 45 minutes I go P5, and the pace was really good at that moment. And I have, okay, maybe we can do something. And but under the safety car there was a contact with left car just behind me, so maybe the guy looked phone or something, but he just hit me in the safety car, and then I have damage. And yeah, second part of the race a little bit difficult, but still we keep P5. I'm really happy, and the first Porsche branded car in the grid, so this is nice. But we have mid-high in 2 weeks, so I'm already start prepared for it, and I hope it will be better.
Yeah, indeed. Well, listen, I know that you've said many times in racing there's lots of ups and downs. It's how you deal with it. Yeah. So the best of luck for that, and best of luck for the quick fire questions. Are you ready? Are you ready for the quick fire questions?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
We will see.
Your time starts now. Who is a better sim racer, you or Cem Bulukbasi?
Me.
Favorite film?
I never watch movie.
Okay, well, that's a good answer. You don't like any films.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you prefer fast corners or long straights in races?
Fast corners.
How do you celebrate after winning in esports racing?
Come on.
How do you celebrate? Charles Leclerc makes pasta. How do you celebrate?
No, nothing. Just go bed and sleep. Because of the time zone, it's always late in Istanbul. So there is no celebration.
No celebrations, just bedside. Favorite track to race on?
Nordschleife.
Least favorite?
Red Bull Ring.
Okay. Who is your driving idol?
Schumacher.
Hardest driver to beat in a race you've driven alongside or against?
Julian Alder.
Good choice. Who will win in the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup Virtual Edition?
Hope me.
And finally, final 2 questions. Favorite food, Ayhancan?
Caesar salad.
Okay. And finally, what number will I roll on this die?
3.
3. Here we go. Oh, it's a 2. Congratulations, Ayhancan Güven.
Thank you.
That is your quick fire questions done.
Oh, wow, that's hard.
Yeah, just 1 out. You were just 1 out there. That was it.
Close.
Listen, it's great to have those quick fire questions. Bit of fun, get to know you and find out about everything. What I also want to know from you, Mr. Güven, is about the Turkish esport racing scene at the moment. First of all, I've seen a crazy amount of passionate and dedicated fans. Where have they all come from, or have they always been there?
I must say, when I started real racing 5 years ago, there is not really fan. Nobody knows what we are doing. But last few years, especially last 3-4 years, it's going bigger and bigger. And these days, it's I think really good. And as I know, we are in the top 5 country of the improvement of the motorsport in the last 5 years. So that's quite good progress. But also the reason we are start from really low. That's also the reason why we are one of the most improved country. But anyway, at the moment I was really happy with that. But I also must say the Gem make a big job with that, because he have a really good social media, and he make a big community for this, and especially for esport. So when he make this job, the people know esport, and then when he have chance for the real life, also people start to follow the real racing. So now it's getting bigger, but also what I see, there is a really big community in Turkey just for Formula One. Expect from me, expect from Turkish drivers. There is a really big community in Turkey who follow F1 and they know. And now with us, now they start to match more. Like we have some esport community. There is some people follow F1. There is some people follow motorsport, and now they all come together with the names under some names, and it seems bigger now. And I'm really like it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from the virtual Grand Prix in China at the weekend, Guanyu Zhou was finished 3rd in the podium. That was his kind of home Grand Prix. And in China, obviously, they hope that through him that the community will grow there. Do you think that if you had a Turkish driver in the F1, that would make the difference? Or do you think that it will still continue to grow?
I think this is a dream for everyone in Turkey. Everyone wants to have a F1 driver from Turkey, but yeah, if it's happened, I think it will be like really huge, because even we are not in the F1, we have really big support. So if there is some drivers can do F1, I think it will be huge. And we have Grand Prix track in Istanbul, just like 5 minutes from here, and then maybe we can have this track back in the calendar and stuff. So yeah, it can be huge.
Yeah, and obviously in the scene at the moment, how developed is it in terms of the esports scene? And are you competing in it just to help it grow?
I'm sure in the past also this is going to be huge in the future, but I think this situation makes maybe 10 year in a 1 month. So we go maybe 10 year ahead in the sim racing, just in the month time maybe. So yeah, I was really happy, and I'm really hope it's going to be a real business for the guys, because I have a big respect to sim racers, because of when I prepare a lot, I give a lot of time on the sim racing. I really respect them, because the way they prepare, the way they drive, they are really professional, and I really hope for them it's going to be a real business, and sim racing can be a way of the life.
Yeah, and obviously to ask you about Cem and yourself, are there any other Turkish drivers in the esports racing scene that we should be made aware of, that you're aware of?
Maybe Mikhail. He's half Turkish, half German. So Mikhail was one of the fastest in GT Sport. Maybe we can talk about him. And yeah, at the moment, I think now because of Cem and me and the others, it's going to be grow, and maybe 10 years later we start to see more people who strong, because now they heard it and now
Yeah.
they start sim racing, and maybe from, if there is 100 people start, maybe 10 of them is going to be good. So maybe in 10 years we can see some strong names.
Okay, watch this space. All right, now listen. I wanted to ask you about the weather. It's getting a lot nicer. You talked about your lockdown that you're in. What will you be doing in your free time now that obviously the weather's getting better? But when you're not sim racing, how does Ayhancan spend his time?
Also sim racing. That's the worst part, maybe. But I'm also spend so much time in sim racing in normal days. But yeah, I was living in Istanbul, but I was living far from the center. So I, like maybe 3-4 times in a week. Always I go center side and go seaside and spend time with the friends. Because life here is really nice in the summer. I really like. And yeah, and I try to do better preparation as a. I go fitness. I'm running outside, so yeah, it will be like I go outside in the morning and I spend my time on the night in the simulator.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted to start asking the guests on the show if they had any tips for people. Because if you take out sim racing and a bit of exercise, are there any tips that you would have so people can start to not go insane with staying indoors? Is there any tips from Ayhancan Güven that have helped you?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I don't get the question.
Yeah, are there any tips that you would give for people if it's not sim
Yeah.
racing and exercise that help people stay sane in these times?
Play games, different games, not sim racing, but games. And yeah, I don't know. I must say, if I don't play sim racing, I go on my phone and play some different games. And if I don't play games, I will go and make some sport. And expect that what I can give them, maybe reading books. I think it's taking time really quick. Maybe books can
Yeah.
help. Or watching Netflix. I don't do it, but from my friends, what I heard, it's making also time really fast.
Yeah, I wondered if you were going to say anything about look over the data of your races, because I know that you don't enjoy that.
I'm the guy who like datas, but for datas you always need someone to compare. If you have a good teammate, then you can compare. So I think the data will be maybe take your 2 hour. Then you need to find something else. Data will be
Yeah.
not take all day long, but I know some guys who spent all day in the data.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ayhancan Güven, thank you so much for joining us on
Thank
Nitro
you.
Nights today. It was great to find out about you. I wish you all the best in the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup Virtual Edition. Best of luck. I know that Larry ten Voorde, you just have to hope he makes a few more mistakes when he's out there in the sim.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Well, listen, enjoy that. And thanks for being a guest today. And to everyone else, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter as well to stay up to date with all the latest. We'll be back on Wednesday. In the meantime, make sure you're following Ayhancan Güven on his social media. And all the best. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.